It's an effort to close the digital divide. Welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Aubrey Aquino, and joining me is Griffiths. She's the co-founder and executive director of the Community Technology Network. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Aubrey.
So when we talk about the digital divide, what are you doing with your organization to help close that gap?
Sure. Community Technology Network, our mission is to transform lives through digital literacy. So we do that by partnering with agencies who already have computer centers and people who need computer training. And we train trainers and support them when they go out to those partner locations to do one-on-one computer training, or they offer small group training. A lot of people are bringing in their own devices, sometimes phones that they don't know how to make a telephone call on, because the smart devices, it's a challenge for some folks, mostly older adults, to understand how to use them. So we have two main partnerships, one with the Department of Aging through SF Connected, and we're working in senior centers here in San Francisco, and our Ready Set Connect program, which is training youth to be trainers in the Oakland Public Libraries in Oakland.
Okay, well, first let's talk about this effort to get maybe like the older population up to date with all this technology. I mean, how do you do that?
One-to-one training and answering very specific questions. There's a lot of folks who need the basics. They still don't know how to use a mouse. They haven't used a computer. It might sound surprising in San Francisco that there's still hundreds of thousands of people that don't really know how to use the computer, or if they're trying to use a device like a tablet that they've gotten from their family, they're having a hard time. They poke instead of swipe, or this interface isn't as intuitive as the developers make it seem like it is. So they'll bring in their own devices, and our volunteers that we train to help them understand how to work with older adults be super empathetic and patient with them, because they might not get it the first time or the second time, and they might not always remember how to log into their email. So we help them understand that everybody needs a little help, and sometimes just having somebody who will sit with them and help them remind them how to log in is just what somebody needs.
And I'm sure that can be intimidating because, as an older adult or whatnot, or if you get a piece of technology that you're just so unfamiliar with, it's probably hard to reach out for help if you don't have it at home.
That's a really good point, because most of us, well, I know I have a network. If I don't know how to use something, I can ask my staff or my husband, but some people don't have family that they can ask, or that family doesn't want to help them, because there's a dynamic between child and parent that doesn't always lead to a productive learning environment.
Right.
So sometimes you get better advice from a stranger at a senior center, but it's not that it's a stranger. The thing that we found is that you need trust to have good learning environment. So our volunteers might show up the first day and no one will really talk to them. They come back the next week and maybe a few people will talk to them. But week after week, more and more people come because they see, oh, this is a trusted face, somebody I know. They get to know each other. So not only is computer training or technology training happening, but they're also getting to know each other and some of the cultural differences or similarities. And when we're working with young people as trainers, working with older adults, there's this intergenerational thing that happens that's pretty great. And so it's just really cool to see those exchanges happen, and that we're not just focusing on the technology, we're also focusing on the outcome the technology helps people get.
And when it comes to the volunteers, how do volunteers get involved?
Great question. So you can always email us at volunteer@ctnbayarea.org. You can go to our website, take a look at some of our spotlight stories of the trainers who work with us, some of the learners who work with us. We would love to have more bilingual volunteers who can work in the senior centers and in some of our job search locations.
Right, but we can't narrow the digital divide without those volunteers working alongside the seniors or whoever it is that needs help.
Exactly, and it's a great use of time. I actually started as a volunteer in a computer center in New York City 15 years ago, and have really loved the work, and it's very fulfilling use of time to help somebody improve their computer skills.
All right, well, we want to thank Griffiths, Executive Director and co-founder of the Community Technology Network, for joining us. You've been watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Aubrey Aquino. We'll see you next time.